you doing? How you doing, man? We're back with another episode of Put You On. Gonna have another special guest with me. He's an actor, he's an artist, he's a public defender. I got that boy, Vigilante. Vigilante.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Oh, I'm just chilling, man. Let me get comfortable right now.
Yeah, get comfortable, man. Get comfortable.
They paying me a lot to wear this hoodie, so I want to make sure that they actually get to see it.
That's what I'm saying. How you doing today, man? How you doing on this damn Wednesday?
Wow, man, I'm good. I'm blessed. I wasn't expecting for it to be this cold, but I guess I could. You know, it's the winter time, so I expected.
Yeah, for real. I feel you on that, man. So, what have been some of your goals you were hoping to accomplish this year? And if you accomplished those goals, what were those goals?
So what I really wanted to do this year was I wanted to turn my credit cards into trade lines to where I got everything under 30%, under 20%, under 10%, and then kept it that way. I had fun like utilizing my credit cards to leverage the stuff that I have now. And now for me to become super financially well off, I wanted to make sure that I maintained them at a certain level, and I accomplished that. Another thing I wanted to accomplish was I wanted to go back on my radio tour, because when I did my first 200 radio stations, my reasoning was to promote music and the movies I was in. And then once I switched over to being an influencer and let me say added, not like switched over to, but once I added being a foodie and being a public figure and doing influencer stuff, then I wanted to go back again, but I wanted to repurpose what I was doing the first time. So now that goal is kind of overlapping into 2024 already. And a bunch of restaurants have already reached out, so I'm pretty much booked up for like all the way up until like the end of February, which is when the speed dating is going to start again. So then that's pretty much going to be double booked for the whole month. So it's looking good already.
That's what's up, man. And you just named a lot of shit, man. Out of all of those titles you named, man, which one has been the most difficult and which one has been the most fulfilling?
I would say to me the most fulfilling one has been actually one that we haven't mentioned yet, and that's my humanitarian side. So one thing I like about doing my real estate ventures and doing my credit ventures, my clothing ventures, probably especially my clothing ventures, is that after I wear something, I could donate it to single moms that have sons, or I donate it to Plato's or Manhattan Cheapskate or any other places that have like good causes.
Right.
So instead of like donating turkeys and stuff, I'll pull up with like 6-7 bags of clothes and just actually hand them out to the kids themselves, so I can actually see the work manifesting right in front of me.
Right.
And it's memorabilia for me because I'll be able to remember, like, that's the interview that I wore that's the interview I wore that. And then for like my fans, they'll be able to be like, yo, this is the hoodie where he was on the Put You On Game podcast, you know, stuff like that. So it creates a lineage and a special tie with the fans as well too. So and then it just repurposes the purpose. That's what all of my purposes are for me, is to repurpose and pay all of the blessings forward.
So what does that helping spirit come from? Like you talked about, your human side or giving out, like where does that come from? And that's something that's always been in you or instilled in you, like where does that come from?
I think I was one of them people that I kind of got it early. I grew up in the church. I grew up Baptist, and my uncle was the lead of ministry. Other uncle was the head of the church. So I grew up in the church early. And then when I saw The Passion of Christ with the Mel Gibson version, I think that gave me like a real, because, we went to children's church and, we read and stuff like that. But when Mel Gibson put out The Passion of Christ, that had to be about 2000 and probably 2002, 2003. And when I saw like a 3D version of Jesus carrying his cross and being nailed to the cross and being whipped, and when the thing got caught in his skin and they pulled it out, and I'm just like, dang, all of this is over somebody telling the truth. They keep asking him, are you the Son of God? And he keeps saying yes. And they don't believe him. And it's like, okay, this man, his father's perfect. He's perfect. They're calling him a liar. They're spitting in his face. He's not doing anything back. And he's telling them, when you do this, 3 days later, I'm going to rise. And the whole time that it's being done, he's saying, yo, God, forgive them. They don't know what they're doing. So I kind of embodied that same spirit. And I say that if a perfect man is not going to be looked at as perfect by people that he created, then me being down here and being flawed by design isn't going to keep people from not liking me. So all I can do is the best that I can do while I'm here, and try to do the best that I can, and realize that all of my decisions are subjective, and that there's going to be somebody else that looks at it from the other side like he's stopping what I'm doing because they have their own agenda. So you're going to make enemies by just in nature. But as long as what you're doing is for the betterment of everybody else, then you can always look at yourself like a good guy. And that's where the name vigilante comes from. Because it's all a subjective whether you on what side you see it on.
I like that, man. So let's take it back to the beginning, man. Where you from?
I was born in Flint and raised in Ben Arbor.
Okay. So when did you come down to ATL?
I've been here since 2010.
2010. Okay, so you've been here for a minute. Then you ain't one of these pandemic people.
Hey, so you call is that
I mean, yeah, what I call it. Cause it just seems like during the pandemic, everybody just traveled down there. It just feel like that. Cause every time I talk to people, I came down here in 2020, in 2020, beginning of 2020. I'm like, God damn.
What's usually their reasoning when they say that?
Usually, they feel like Atlanta, and it's true to some degree. They feel like Atlanta is the black Hollywood. It's the new Hollywood. Everything is popping down here, et cetera, et cetera. That's why they come down here, because they think this is the scenery. But I always tell people, when you was born here and you was raised here, you have a different outlook than somebody who just came here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because you probably will eventually, but you ain't seen all the fucked up, you know what I'm saying, negative shit that really go on for you down here for real, especially from your own community. They don't really see that, because most people that I had on here that came down here, they be like, man, they so nice. Like, people were just really supportive. And I'm like, yeah, it's like that, but there's also other side. You know what I'm saying, as well.
Yeah, I feel
so that's all. So I just be like, so you've been out here for a minute, so I'm pretty sure you don't see every different avenue, pretty much.
Yeah. When I first got down here, I went to Marietta High, and then the second half of that year, I went to Lithia Springs. Came back, graduated from Marietta, and then I went to SAE downtown. I've lived on so many different sides. I've lived in Stockbridge, Jonesboro, Marietta, Smyrna, Vinings. So I lived around
everywhere. Yeah,
so I didn't been around. The thing I say about Atlanta, for the people that's watching that don't that don't live in Atlanta, is that Atlanta is super crowded.
That too, yes, please. Say that shit again.
Yeah, it's crowded as hell. And the traffic is crazy. Nah, it's an oxymoron, because you can look on the other side of traffic when it's full, and you can go, man, if I could just come up with something that could garnish the attention of all of these people, and if I just got $1 from all of them, I'd be set for life.
Hell is you saying, for real?
And
for real though.
Then the flip side to that is everybody that I'm trying to get $1 from is trying to get $1 from me. So that's kind of like the way that Atlanta works. It is a very supportive culture here.
Yeah, it is though. It is. People, yeah. Really
when you go out to the club, if you were like an artist and you doing an open mic, when your song come on, they actually anticipating to hear how dope your shit is, and they want to give you constructive criticism and feedback. And you got badass women everywhere that's ready to twerk to your song online and in person. The women here are magnificent. You can see a woman at the library that looked just as good as the woman that was at the strip club last night, and the same one in the grocery store. Like, the women are beautiful, but it's a really luck of the draw kind of thing when you're dealing with women down here, because they do all types of shit. They do OnlyFans, hair, work at the hospital. Like, they got like 7 to 9 different side hustles, so you really got to check their Twitter and see what's really going on when you actually deal with them. But Atlanta is a beautiful place, man. Like, this is my second home for sure.
Yeah, I like that, man. So you not going to college?
You said, did I? Yeah, I went to SAE.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I graduated 2015.
Oh, okay. That's what's up then, man. We're educated, man. So how was your experience going there?
Man, I had a great time, bro. Like, when I went, that was like my transition from being a boy to like a man right there. Because I was going from 18 to 19, going from high school to college. And so me and my mom, we had to deal with each other that she wouldn't send me any more job applications if I went to college. And so I did. And then she would get off my back about going into entertainment industry. So I went, and when I went, me personally, it was to see like, cause I was a young prodigy. And I wanted to kind of measure myself up against the other people that was there to be like, okay, am I a prodigy to the people that I'm around, or am I a prodigy to the people that's in my field? So when I went there, I realized that that's exactly what it was. I was a prodigy all the way around. And even the people that was in my field were still looking up to me with the stuff that I was doing. So I was like, all right, cool. This is exactly what I should be doing. I should be doing stuff in entertainment. This is before I went on my podcast tour and created all of that stuff that you see now on Instagram. This is like right before that time. So now that I look back at it, the stuff that I learned at SAE, I'm still utilizing to this very day. I got my equipment. For those who never went to SAE or Full Sail or anything like that, they give you a laptop, a whole bunch of mixing equipment to help you get more versed with Pro Tools, Reason, Logic, GarageBand, and all that stuff. So now that we live in a content-based world, and where you have to kind of got to teach yourself if you don't have it, or you got to go to school for it so you can learn it. So that kind of helped me get ahead of a curve that nobody saw was coming anyway. So it was one of them things, man. I think that it's gonna serve me well, especially now being in the influencer, content creator space. It's kind of weird to say that because I really feel like that influencers and content creators, like the title, is for people who really don't have a substantial talent in the field that they do, but they still create. You get what I'm saying?
That's interesting.
So like, it's like when
put that down for people that went over their head.
Yeah, I got you. So like, I've been in a lot of movies and TV shows, and I've always been a person where I love good scripts, good acting. When everything comes together properly, then you have a great film.
Right.
The reason that we love Power is because of the character development. Tommy is Tommy. Ghost is Ghost. But we've all seen movies where we're like, man, this dude that fucked the movie up. Or this acting is terrible. Like,
that too.
I think that Tyler Perry does a great job with his character development, but his scripts be so cliche.
Yes, thank you. I said that too.
Yeah.
Don't kill me, but I said that too. I said that plenty of times.
His movements and what he does as a mogul surpasses his script writing ability.
Yeah, it does.
And that kind of helps us, like, kind of, you know, like, all right, Tyler, you know what I'm saying? We letting you get away with
Let
this,
him
right?
get away with it,
Yeah.
So I said the same shit too. I said the cliches, like very predictable.
Yeah.
And it's like pretty much the same shit. You know, honestly, that's I tell people that too. But
it's very repetitive.
Sometimes when you tell people select a politic, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If they love you, they love you. They hate you, they hate you.
That's
so
Atlanta
like,
right there.
It's either or. So it's like when you say certain things about certain people they ready to get your ass. You know what I'm saying?
And I learned that heavily with the music scene. Like, when I first came down here, I'm coming from listening to, because I'm from Michigan, so I'm listening to Royce the 5'9" and Eminem. And I'm listening to Jay-Z. I come down here, I'm introduced to Waka, Roscoe Dash, Thug, Rich Homie, Future.
Yeah.
So now my whole perception of music has now just
changed,
just 360, and I'm listening to.
Because you just named lyrics. You went from lyricists to hit makers.
Yeah, a whole bunch of club bangers.
Yeah, club bangers. Just like where you went to.
I never went to the club when I was in Michigan because I was too young. I moved down here when I was 15. So going to the club I wasn't doing it. And then hearing club bangers, people wasn't really making club bangers. They was just making music. Club bangers used to just go, this is a little history lesson for people right here. Okay. Club bangers used to just go on the radio. Like a song like All I Do Is Win, that wasn't for the club, but they'll play it in there. It wasn't until the Atlanta scene became the hottest that people just started siphoning their music through the club.
Right. You got a point. You definitely got a point, man. So let's get into it. So entrepreneurship, man. What does entrepreneurship mean to you? And why do most businesses fail, in your opinion?
Man, that's a great question, man. I'm gonna answer it in reverse. So I'm gonna say that to me, most businesses fail because people don't take the time to really scale their businesses and really like hone in on the passion for the business first. So I tell people all the time that you should start a business by accident. you should be the best cake maker in your city, and then you the person that everybody rely on to Thanksgiving and Christmas for the cake, and then all of a sudden the word spread in the city, and now you got people that's lined up around the block of your house to get the cake, and then the department should come and shut it down, and then that makes you fundraise throughout the city, and then they get you a building, so now you have a cake store, and
that's dope.
You get what I'm saying?
You say that. I get exactly what you're saying. Yeah.
And now that same line that was at the house is at the cake store. Yes. And then now
you don't get that customer base.
That customer base. Yep. And now on the other side of town, they like, damn, we want something over here too. So now you expand, and now you got 2 locations.
2 locations. Yep.
This is the way.
Word of mouth is powerful.
This is the way that businesses should be built.
Yep.
And now the problem is that people build it in the other way to where they'll go and take out a loan for the one time in their life where they have good credit, and then take this loan out, take this business loan out, and then they try to build a customer base. But now they already have so much overhead because they got all this inventory, they got all of this ingredients. They still got to pay these employees. They still got to pay themselves, and then they do the most craziest thing, and then they quit their regular job, which is funding the other business. So you either pay your bills with the regular job, or you have your bills paid, and then you take that money and use it to fund this business, and then you use that collateral from your regular job to get your business loan, so you can pay that loan back and then keep this money over here open.
Educate them.
Yeah.
Educate them, man. Put them on game.
Yeah.
Put them on game, man.
Yeah.
That's for real. So you right. You know, and it's crazy how you say that on accident, because this kind of how this podcast kind of fell to me on accident. Kind of. I want to say right place, right time. As far as my boy Zay had already done the podcast before, and I was like, shit, you know what I'm saying? This whole idea was really his idea. You know what I'm saying? But I was like, shit, let me do it with you, man. Let me do it with you. So we had ended up at the airport or whatnot, working at the airport, and you know, times went on. You know, he ended up doing comedy now. I was like, when you gonna do it? You know, he just said, man, you just go ahead and do it. So I just went ahead and just had no idea what goes into a podcast, what all you need, equipment, all this. I never knew that. I looked this shit up, found it out, made it happen, put my own vision behind this shit, and just did it. Just like that. So it was never, I tell people, this was never something that I always wanted to do when I was young. You know what I'm saying? I just never, I want to do podcasts. I want to be a content creator. I never thought about that. This shit really kind of fell into my lap.
Yeah.
In a sense. So when you said that, I was like, wow, that shit made sense, because this shit really fell into my lap, honestly. And then it wasn't until my mentor told me about purpose, you know what I'm saying, of it's always something that you done when you was younger that you didn't know was a talent, or you just kind of, you know what I'm saying, really didn't pay no attention to. You know, so for me coming up, I realized this was something I always done. I always been that person people come to for advice. I always been that big brother OG to people, talking to people, giving out game. There's always been me. I could wake up and do this shit easily. I ain't got to practice. I ain't got to try. You know what I'm saying? This shit is easy. It's effortlessly. You know what I'm saying? So when he said, I said, damn, I never thought about it like that. I'm just doing this shit at first because I love it. But then realized, damn, this shit's always been with me all along.
The whole time. You got to monetize your purpose.
Yep.
And that's how you live a good life, when you monetize your purpose.
Absolutely.
People hit me up all the time. Like, I don't know how you got 300 plus interviews. If I was on the podcast, I'd be nervous.
Yeah.
Not one time have I ever thought about being nervous on the podcast or in front of a movie camera or rapping or anything. Like, I never thought about being nervous.
So what was your first movie? Your first movie you did, first time on sets. Give me that. What was that experience like, being on set with other people, and you talk about being nervous, so what was it like then? What was your experience on the first time on set?
Okay, I'll walk you through a majority of my acting career. Okay. So the way that it started was my stepdad had come home one day. Well, it really started 2 months before that, where Trevor Jackson, shout out to him.
Trevor.
He was doing
you water.
he was doing a movie called Sons to the Grave downtown Atlanta, And when he was doing that movie, I took 2 buses and a train in January and went to go see him. And I didn't know nothing about movies at this time, so I walked right past Crafty, security, crew, and I went to the back where the main actors was, and he was back there with his mom. And we took pictures together, and he was like, "Do you want to stay and be in this movie?" And I was like, "I don't really know nothing about being in movies," and he was like, "Yeah, just go to that room back there, and they got you." I didn't know he was pointing me to extras holding, so I went back there. We did a couple scenes, extras holding, and then I went home. I was a little embarrassed because all of the girls that I was talking to while I was in extras holding, they had cars and I didn't yet. So this was at that time. I'm gonna do a sidebar. So when you dating in Atlanta, it's not mandatory for you to have a car, but you have to have a bunch of other shit that overcompensates for the fact that you don't have a car. So, but everything here is kind of far away from each other. So your best bet is to go ahead and get you a car. And if I was you, if you're gonna get a bucket, and for those who don't know what a bucket is, that's just like a little car for you to get around and nothing too flashy. You need to have a plan of what you're gonna do with that money. Like you putting it in real estate, or you doing this, because the women are gonna ask, like, or they gonna give a vibe off that they understand that you in a bucket. And then they gonna compare you to other men that they talking to that don't have a bucket.
Yeah, they do. When they compare, just like niggas do too. So, just like we do too.
So if I was you, I would just go ahead and get you a nice little affordable luxury vehicle, something nice, and then continue to go with your investments. But if you're not, then you need to have them other investments in place now, especially if you want to date effectively here. But anyway, back into the story. So then my stepdad came home one day and he told me about Alvin and Chipmunk's Foreign Barbershop 3. I told him I didn't want to do it because I didn't get paid for the Trevor thing because I wasn't supposed to be on set anyway. And then I didn't know anything about acting, and he was saying, you got to fill this out right here online and blah, 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 blah. I'm like, no, I don't want to do it. So he came back the next day and he asked me again. I said, I don't want to do it. He came back the next day, he asked me again. I said, all right, man, I'll fill it out. I filled it out. I got accepted for Alvin and Chipmunks before I did 3 days on there.
Okay.
And it was...
Which one?
The one where they was in the airplane.
Oh,
the
yeah,
airplane scene. So it was experience. It was cool. There was a lot of white people there because that's more of a white movie. Yeah. So I didn't really think too much of it. I did it. A month later, I got an email for Barbershop 3. Now, of course, I've seen Barbershop 1 and 2.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we are. That's culture.
So I get on set, and there's so many black girls there, and they so bad. Like, that's another thing I love about living in Atlanta is that when you go anywhere for a casting here, the baddest women in the city are gonna pop out. Now, the unfortunate part is that these are the women that's also moving around, if you know what I mean when I say these are the ones that's moving around. And then you got the other women that's just as bad as them, but they don't pop out. So you got to see them in traffic. So you got like 2 different sides of bad women here when you live in Atlanta. So now I'm talking to them, I'm chopping it down with them, and we sitting kind of like me and you sitting right now, and then all of a sudden I look up and I see Q, Eve, Nikki, Dion,
Common,
Said, all of them just walking right here. Common too. All of them just walking right here.
Damn.
And they just right in front of me. And I had to make my mind up that day. If I go to approach them to have conversation with them, none of them are here on music. They here on acting. So I'm like, all right, bet. Let me re-render my whole approach and go talk to them. And I had a conversation with all of them, and they was cool as a motherfucker, every last one of them. And that's another thing about living in Atlanta is that you can really just walk up and talk to anybody. And as long as you're not on no groupie shit, they will just have a regular conversation with you. You can walk right up to Future and be like, what up, Future? What's going on, baby? He be like, ain't nothing, ain't shit. Like he know you. Anywhere else, everybody just look at your hand like, yo, who the fuck is this? But here in Atlanta, they'll look at you like, damn, why you tripping if you don't want to shake their hand? So that's another thing I do like about living here. And so we chopping it down. I go home that day. Again, I'm on the bus, on the train again. And I get home and I got a check from Alvin and Chipmunks. And then I look underneath that and it's 2 more checks. Remember, I did 3 days. So all of these checks are almost for like $300 a piece because I was there for the whole day. So I done made like $900 in 3 days. So now I'm scaling. I haven't made any money in music from 2010 to 2015. This is 2015. I made $900 in 3 days doing this. So now I'm thinking,
I can do this shit.
that, and also, if I got $900 in 3 days, what did Common, EQ, what did all of them get?
Yeah.
And I'm just like, man, god damn, they probably got, whoo, boy, okay. Now it's time to get for real about this. So then I started getting booked in background every single day, and I'm just making hella bread. Some days I'm doing 2 sets. I'm meeting so many women. This is when my social media following went from like 5,000 to 10 to 15 to 20, because I would just pass my phone around to everybody, because that's another thing about Atlanta. Everybody here is networking. If you're in a room with 20 people, you're gonna leave with 20 new followers. And when they look at your page, you go, oh, you got a podcast? Oh, my homie, he'll be a good guest for your show. And so now you got more followers. And now it's a good and bad, because some people be on bullshit. And you gotta render through the bullshit that people be on.
Who you telling?
But when it's a real opportunity, then it's real. So it's one of them things. And so I started getting I started going up in the ranks, and I did my first feature role. You ever seen the show Star?
Yeah.
Okay, so back then it was called Lee Daniels TV Pilot. It didn't have a name yet. So I pull up to the set that day, and there ain't no background there. And it's just me, my boy Cruz, and my boy Kaede. The 3 girls is there. I see them. I start talking to all 3 of them. And I'm talking mad shit to them, because it's a contest that we doing where my homies, we all 3 rappers and they 3 singers, and we going against each other in the Atlanta Next Fest for that $1 million contract. So, but the show hasn't come out yet. So I don't know that I'm talking to them. The 3 girls, that's the main characters on the show. So, and they being cool about it. And when we get done filming, I'm noticing like there still ain't no background. So I'm eating crew food. And I'm eating crew crafty. And for those who have never been on the movie set, crew food and crew crafty is the best food and the best crafty. So it'd be like the equivalence of going to a soup kitchen and eating, and then going to Ruth Chris. It's like this, like it's night and day.
Yeah, night and day type of shit, I feel.
And they treating me like a superstar, but I haven't done really anything in acting. It's my first year. So I get off set, and we signing our vouchers to get off, and that's the first time that I've seen somebody write 500 on my paper. And I didn't file exempt like I should have. So they took a good chunk of that for taxes, but then I learned in that moment to ask what it is that we're doing that day, so that I know how to render my taxes based off of what I'm getting paid. So the following year, I got my first lead on For My Man for TV1. When I got my first lead, that changed my whole acting experience, because it was in Tennessee, Knoxville. So it's like an hour and 30 minutes away. So I took the whip and I drove. Now finally I'm driving, finally, y'all. Finally. So I took the whip.
Finally.
I took the whip and I went to Knoxville, and they had 5 days hotel booked for me. And when I got there, all I had to do was just check in. That was my first time that ever happened. And I felt so appreciated for my talents at that time. I get on set, I'm at Crafty, and somebody goes with the walkie-talkie. Is Remarcus over there? Yeah, he's right here. He's just getting some food. He'll be there in just a second. Put me on the back of the golf cart, took me over there. I did my scene, and I was gone. Now with background acting, you don't get to leave. You stay there all day, no matter what's going on. But when you're a lead or a co-lead, you get to leave, come back, leave, come back. You get to go offset, go get food, come back, food already here. You can invite people to come on set with you. Like, you got that type of power. And with me, I've always been the type of person where in life, you're gonna have broke problems or you're gonna have rich problems. And I would much rather have rich problems. I'd much rather have my girls fighting over which one is gonna be with me for the night than to not have no girls. So when it came to me getting that taste of what it was like to have that type of power to go on set, I started paying it forward immediately. So like girls that I would want to talk to, I would just start inviting them to come to set. Because in Atlanta, here's another one for y'all. If you want to date women that are in Atlanta, you have to kind of present them with an opportunity while at the same time keeping it open-ended.
Right. If
you hit them on some business shit, they will categorize you in the business category. And then if you try to do anything personal with them, they're gonna look at you like you lied to them. But if you just invite them to some business shit, then they'll look at it like, okay, he is kind of handsome. All right, I do kind of like his car. Okay, I did it, and then they'll start to fuck with you, and then you could just capitalize off of that. So that's kind of how you maneuver it in the dating market here. So I started using that to my advantage, and I had like 10, 20 girls on set with me at one time, where we would just all be chilling. I'd just be going from table to table, and then depending on the girls, I could even mash them up and put them at the same table and just kick it. And I just started doing that, and then my social media following just
continue to grow.
It just started skyrocketing, and then we ain't know Instagram was gonna do what it did when it came out.
Yeah, very big.
So that shit just started stealing everything from everybody else. It stole Facebook. It stole Live from Facebook. Stole stories from Snapchat, and then stole Reels from TikTok, and then it just all combined into one. So then I'm glad that that's the social media that I started sprucing up, because it became the one everybody was looking at, and then I ended up getting verified before Meta Verified came around. That just put me at a whole new plateau, to where everybody was just like, yo, we see what you've been doing these years, you officially the man now. And then when I did that, that's when I said, okay, now it's time for me to go back outside. I've conquered the social media part. Let me take my talents back into the street and connect with the people again. And then that's when they see me celebrity judging.
So let's get into that. So you do a lot of stuff. I always tell people, man, if you work on mastering one thing, then that one thing will open up doors for everything else. But you, man, you have your hands dipped in so many different things, man. Like, which field did you master first? Or that you got known first, like really big on first for doing?
Oh man, that's another thing I love about my career, is that when I meet people and I ask them what they know me for. The first time I seen Childish Gambino, he was doing a comedy special on Comedy Central. The second time I seen him, he had a big ass teddy bear on a Ferris wheel doing 3005. The third time I saw him, we was filming Atlanta together. The first time I seen Nick Cannon, he was in Drumline. No, he was in Love Don't Cost a Thing. Then he was in Drumline. Whichever order he did those in. And Wildin' Out. And now just an all-around businessman. So I think I've kind of navigated my career to be like kind of the same way.
I see what you're saying.
I think the first thing that I got known in that really like made a difference was the acting.
Acting first.
And I did that on purpose because acting has an entry-level pay. Music don't. And anybody can get into music by just having a studio in the closet. But when it comes to the acting,
oh man,
you kind of have to know somebody that knows somebody. And then relationships. And so it has a rite of passage. Anything that has a rite of passage is more exclusive. So in all the interviews that I've done, it's still my goal to be on Breakfast Club, Sway, to be a regular on Vlad, stuff like that. And those are all important because they have a rite of passage. You can't just walk in Vlad's studio and be like, yo, interview me. So that's one of the things that I've navigated my career on. So I would say that the one thing that I mastered was career hypergamy, as I was mastering female hypergamy. So what I mastered was understanding what people would deem to be exclusive to them. And I really learned that by sitting around talking to the women, because they would tell me the men that they had crushes on. I would look at what they were doing, and then I would start doing what they was doing. Right. And then it just kind of turned into me. So now I'm pretty sure that they have
looking at you.
the same way. And then it just paid it forward.
Right.
And he's creating himself to be the next person that they do that to.
I like that, man.
Yeah, that's how that went.
I like that. You ready to get into this game, man? Let's spice this shit up, man.
Let's spice it up.
Game, man. Let's spice it up, man. The game go like this. I ask you 5 questions. Whichever ones you get right, I take a shot. Whichever ones you get wrong, you take a shot. Now, the point of this game is a guessing game, okay? I'm not expecting niggas to walk around just knowing all the answers to this shit, encyclopedia type shit. I keep it on black estimates, and I give you multiple choice.
Okay.
And I keep it on what black people dominate the most as far as entertainment, movies, sports, fashion, just all that type of shit that we excel in, high excel in. We sell other things too, not trying to say we don't, so don't get on me, but those are the things that, most blacks just like really just
dominate.
Dominate.
I got
dominate, bad.
It's my glass right here.
Yeah, shot glass
Okay.
right there. So whatever you pour up in there, I already don't rinse it out, clean out everything. But do what you do.
Yeah, we in
But
the game.
let's go. You ready?
Yep, let me see which one I want to.
We got everything. We got the wine bottle.
Yeah,
we got the crown over there. Whatever you want to drink. Whatever. We on this thing for Thanksgiving. Let's do it. Look, you already got the. Who has won more NFL MVP awards? A. Tom Brady. B. Aaron Rodgers.
Tom Brady.
That's wrong.
Already.
I see why you pour that shit up. He just already knew. He already knew it was over. Alright, man. You might get this right, though.
I felt like I was right, too.
He said it out loud. Oh, man. Who has won more Grammys? A. Hove. B. Kanye. Or C. Is equal? Closer to what you think.
Kanye, Jay-Z, equal. I think that I think Jay got more.
That's wrong.
God damn. I'm 0 for 2.
They both got the same.
The same amount?
The same Grammys.
Man, I should have known because you added the C in there and the C wasn't on the first one.
I've been trying to trick people, bro, so it's good how you say that. I've been trying to trick motherfuckers and you fell right into the trick.
I definitely fell right into it.
Oh, man. Every time this game good, that's what I'm talking about, man. That's what I'm talking about right now. Okay. Let's keep it going. Let's keep it going. Who has more #1 songs on the Billboard? A. 50 Cent. B. Ludacris.
I'm gonna go with Luda.
Final answer.
I'm gonna go with Luda.
Okay, you got that right. Okay, man. Okay, you know what? Give me.
Oh, yeah, which one?
Give me that Ludacris.
This one here.
Yeah.
Okay, bet.
What's up, man?
I want to say they was just talking about that too. They was talking about a Wayne versus 50 Cent versus.
Yeah.
And they was talking about that 50 ain't really got that many #1s, but he got a lot of hit songs.
50 got a lot of numbers. I mean, he got like, to be honest, I tell people when it comes to #1 songs, it's hard to get a #1 song. Your song could be top 10.
Yeah.
But it's hard to get a #1 song. Like you said, Drake has what, 13 now? 13, 14 #1s?
#1s, yeah.
And think about how many hits he has. He has over 200 hits. If you do the percentage, that's not a good percent.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? It's not a good percentage. But that's what I'm saying. So if the person got the most hits in the world, damn near Drake, got only 13 of them, imagine how other people probably got 5, 4, 3, you know what I'm saying? All in there, because it's hard to get #1. So most definitely. But I always say for me, love 50. Wayne watching 50 in the verses.
Yeah, he gonna win that for sure.
Period. Reason being, Wayne is one of those individuals that can go in 3 different bags. He can go in the Carter bag, mixtape bag, and features bag.
Oh man.
He can go in all 3.
Yeah.
That's dangerous. That's dangerous. He can go in all 3. And it's like he's one of those few rappers that really has all 3 like that. That's what makes him a dangerous person, because we saw when when the Locks went against Dipset, we saw Dipset Slick got more hits, more bigger hits than the Locks, but the Locks had the streets. They got Jadakiss, they beat him with street records.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. It's dangerous going to get somebody like that because he has it all.
And then when I scale my verses, people, I always scale it for what the hit is versus what the hit is. So even when you get to a song like How to Love, 50 don't have a How to Love.
He don't.
When you get to a song like Right Above It, he don't have a Bedrock. He don't have an Every Girl.
No.
You get what I'm saying? Like, he don't have The Sky Is the Limit.
No.
He don't have a Millie.
No.
Like, I love Candy Shop and In the Club.
And the Club is a banger too.
He'll
win some rounds. Some of the rounds he'll win, but I just feel like overall, I just don't see how he will win.
Yeah, I don't see it. There's no way around those hits.
Yeah.
50 got really good songs. Wayne got a lot of hits songs.
Yeah. So that's why I in my opinion, I just feel like it it won't be particularly close in that battle. But
no, not at all. Great to watch.
Great to watch, though.
Yeah.
I definitely love to watch that. But next question. Who has been in more movies? A, Angela Bassett. B, Whoopi Goldberg.
Oh, god damn. I might have to go with Whoopi.
Okay, you got that right. Look at him. Look at him, okay?
Yeah, I'm catching up.
Okay, you catching up, man. We 2-2 now. We 2-2.
Come back to you.
Gotta save all my laughs. Save all my laughs, man. Save all my laughs, man. Let's go. Now, what made you say Whoopi Goldberg?
She's just an OG vet in the game. I kind of saw how many years she had on, how many years she got on Angela Bassett. And then Angela Bassett does TV shows, too. So when you do TV shows, they kind of go longer. Mm-hmm. So it takes away from your ability to be able to film as many movies. Mm-hmm. And with Whoopi Goldberg, she's more of a movie person than a TV show.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. Mm-hmm. What doing is research. Okay, we're the last question.
All right, let's do it.
How many #1 songs does Rihanna have? A, 13, B, 14.
She got a bigger crossover fan base than Jay, so I'll say 14. 14.
Okay, you got that right. Hey, you came back, man.
Yeah.
You came back.
Yeah.
You came back, man.
It's all about how you finish.
Yep, I always say that too. I always tell people that it doesn't matter how you start, it's all about how you finish. The man came back home. Okay.
Yes, sir. Y'all can take me back to Jeopardy again.
Me too. I like that. He came to play, man. I got my last in at first, and he came back hard at the end to get me up out of here.
Those are some good ones. Those are some good ones, man. I like those questions.
Appreciate it. So let's get back to it, man. If you can go back in time, what would you tell your past self?
It's coming. It's coming. Yeah, it's coming. Stop overthinking whether or not it's gonna happen and be more prepared for what you're gonna do when it does hit.
That's deep right there. I like that. What kind of advice can you give to other entrepreneurs, man, and other black men who are trying to come in next year?
It's coming.
Same thing.
Same thing. It's coming. And monetize your passion. Whatever you do on a regular basis. I remember this time last year waking up when I first started celebrity boxing going, if I'm going to be in the gym this much, I really need a gym endorsement. Mm-hmm. Because if I'm going to be paying this gym fee of 100 and whatever it is, then I need to have 100 or 200 for me to subside that so it can make sense for me. And even though I was getting a really big box purse, that's only one day out of months of training. Mm-hmm. So when my clothing deal started to come around back to back, when I got heavier into the influencer and people just started sending me their whole inventory, now it started to make sense. So now when I make different boxing videos, now I can be both fashionable, promoting, cross-promoting, and also staying athletic as well. So it kills so many birds with one stone. And that's me just monetizing my real life. So now when women come around me, and I'm about to close on my penthouse in January. So let's say that a girl is at my crib in January and we kicking it the night before. I get up the next morning at 6, 7 in the morning. Like, where you going? I'm about to go to the gym. You want to come with me? And now she's getting equipped to that high value lifestyle. And then when we get back, breakfast. After that, business ideas. After that, clothes that we're gonna put on after that. And then, you know what I'm saying? Like, now she's like, damn, okay, so how did you get the penthouse? Like, how much did it? Okay, now I'm teaching you real estate. And then now after that, trade lines. And then after that, appreciating assets like watches and art. And then so when you monetize your real life, it helps you to be able to have a woman to fall into your program too. Because you already know where you're going. And then she's gonna be able to fall right into that. That's my advice to everybody, entrepreneurs and to the general population as well.
I like that. So what is something you haven't done that you're still hoping to accomplish?
To complete my media tour. I want to go on The Breakfast Club, Sway, and I want to create, the High Value Sigma Mill is going to be the platform that I create. When Kevin Samuels passed away, people was really pushing me in that direction to be like, yo, you got an open lane now. And it's like, well, I had an open lane when he was here, but the advice that he was giving was parallel to the advice that I was giving. We just say it in two different ways. He had a more blunt,
Yeah,
upfront,
he did.
very hardcore way that he would say things.
And I would, are you look? You think you a 10 or something? Come on now, be realistic. How many kids you got?
I mean, yeah.
I see.
Shout out to
He's
him.
stupid.
You know,
Rest in peace, man.
rest
He
in
was a
peace,
fool,
man.
man. He was a fool.
Everybody is needed in the space. I love him, MJ Get Right, FitX Fearless, Fresh and Fit. Everybody that's in the manosphere, I appreciate them because they really helped to take everything I was doing to the next level. Like I could have been content with how good I was doing in the movies before, but it's so much more to do. And so now it's my turn to create the high value Sigma male platform so that I can unite with my brothers and continue to push the message forward and continue to use my platform to help as many people. Because it's not, you know, I had a girl, I was on Ellie's show, and Ellie was like, shout out to Ellie, and she was like, you know, I hear what you're saying, but that stuff doesn't sound like that. It's for females. And I said, no, that's wrong. It is for females too, because it's an open book test. If you want to get a man, every man that's on there is multimillionaires. So these are literally men that you want to get with, not them per se, but the type of mentality that we all share. So you would want to hear what they got to say, so you know how to align yourself with men that are parallel to that. This is a cheat code. If you want to close your book and not take an open book test, that's on you. But me, I'm going to get an A every time, because I'm going to open that motherfucking book up and I'm going to listen to the information that's being presented in front of me. And that's what I want to continue to do. I want to use the products and continue to show people how to progressively put them into motion so that it makes sense for you. And so you can get the best partner that you can possibly get, and so that you can minimize on being cheated on, so your fashion can be on point, so your jewelry game can be on point, so your real estate game can be on point, and so you can keep everything intact without stressing yourself the fuck out to be depressed or commit suicide or some shit like that.
Damn, that's deep, man. So when it's all said and done, man, how do you want to be remembered?
I'm gonna be remembered in so many different ways by so many different people, depending on my interaction with them. But all in all, I just want people to say that, one, that I was here, and two, that I tried my best to do my best. I think that's really all you can ask, is that right there, is that I tried my best to do my best. And then
simple but deep at the same time, if you really look into it. But...
And then I died. I tried my best to do my best, and then I died. So, man, where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? In the next 5, I'll be a regular on Vlad TV. I'm definitely going to cop me some property out in Cali that's close to his studio, so I can make sure that that's something I'm doing at least twice a year. I'll be probably joining the Creed series. I'll probably be joining the Power series and being a recurring character on both of those. My platform will be then kicked off by that time. The high value Sigma males will be crazy. It'll probably be on TV, or cause streaming that's taken over. So I probably didn't close the deal with Roku or Disney Plus or Netflix or Hulu or something where you could just stream my show all the time. I think that's where Kev was heading if he didn't, you know, pass away. He was probably heading to television. And so that'll definitely be me in the next 5. I have a lot of different properties. I want to start a subject to division. And for those who don't know what subject to is, that means that when your house goes into foreclosure, instead of it hitting your credit and the bank's taking it back, somebody like myself or somebody that's on my staff will come in and say, yo, here's the $3,000 that you're behind. Here's another $2,000-$3,000 for you to relocate. If you want to stay here and be my tenant and just sign over the loan to me, or if you want to move and then I get another tenant, or I can Airbnb the spot out. Either way, it's not going to affect you negatively, and it's going to give you a second chance if you do want to try home ownership again. Maybe you just wasn't in the right position to do it the first time, but second and third time is a charm. It's a learning experience.
I would say 3's the magic number.
And then also
that's real, man. I fuck with that. I really fuck with that deeply, man.
Yeah.
Damn.
All these opportunities are out there, man. It's just up to the people like us to fine tune it and to get the information. I was meeting with some politicians yesterday, and I got some interviews coming up with a couple of commissioners. And you know, if people check my page, they'll see me on there with Stacey Abrams and Kemp and the rest of the politicians. So every time that the elections come around, I'm going to be heavily involved to make sure that Georgia has a better. As long as I'm living here, we're gonna have a better tomorrow. And if people is in political positions to where they don't deserve to be, or that they don't have the best interest in Georgia having a better tomorrow, you're gonna know, because I'm gonna tell you. So that's another one of my missions right there too, is I don't want to necessarily be a politician, but I want to stay closely involved into the next steps that are happening in Georgia and what's going on. And I want to
that was my next question, man. You've done over 200K plus interviews. I've been on with CEOs, senators, mayors, actors, so many important people to this culture, man. Did you have a vision for yourself?
Not like this. I knew that I was going to be an important figure, but I didn't know the route that God was going to send me on to be able to do it. And then, even then, it's different when you actually there. It's weird when you live in Georgia, because Georgia don't know nothing about any other state. But the rest of the world knows everything about Georgia. So Stacey Abrams is known all the way in California and New York and Texas. She don't have nothing to do with nothing that's going on in none of them other spots. But everybody knows about the election here. So when out of all of those, the Earth population right now is 8.8 billion. I don't know what the actual American one is, but in Georgia we got at least 20 to 30 million people that live here just alone. So it's like, out of all 20 million people, I'm the one person that gets to have this conversation with Stacey and gets to have this conversation with Kim. So when it actually happens, it hits you in the chest a little different. And I hold that responsibility wholeheartedly. And, you know, it feels good to have the responsibility. It doesn't feel like it's like a weight on my shoulders or anything. It feels like God perfectly aligned me to be the person to do so.
I like that, man. So you talk about all these baddies on here, man. All these baddies. What's going on, man? You with somebody in a relationship? What you got going on out here in these streets, man?
You know, my last relationship was about 2 years ago, and I was with her for 4 years. And then the last 6 months of our relationship was a poly relationship. So during that time, that's when I learned about what being a high value man was, and started celebrity boxing and chiseling up my body and getting more into finances and stuff like that. And so my dating experience has been very good. I think that if I hadn't got those teachings from the manosphere, that I probably would have hopped into another situation. And it probably wouldn't have been the best thing for me to do, because I wouldn't have had the skill set to be able to properly lead like the way that I have it now. So now that I have the opportunity to be in the position that I'm in, take a step back, assess all of the females that I deal with, and really get a chance to pick which one or which ones would be the most advantageous for me to be with. So that's where I'm at right now.
I like that. So, man, what's next for you, man? What's coming up for you?
You know, I'm redefining the influencer culture right now, and making it an actual thing, to where when somebody's like, I'm an influencer, a person can depict what a salary for you would be like in their head by making it a real thing. I'm redefining the podcast space. Probably this time next year, I'll be in the Guinness Book of World Records for the most interviews. And so that's really what I'm moving toward right now. I'm having a ball helping people with their brands. People are calling me a brand liaison, and helping with a lot of different brand developments, and helping people get, you know, like, shout out to Don Peace for the watch, shout out to Hawk Culture for the necklace, shout out to everybody for the drip that I have on. And, you know, the links are going to be down there for y'all to purchase all of this stuff. And that's pretty much the next direction I'm moving everything into, and then taking that to a grand scale. So from podcast to television, and then probably coming back full circle.
So let's talk about this podcast, man. What made you want to start this podcast?
So really, what it was that I have a natural knack for being in front of this microphone. And the information that I give out, for whatever reason, people want to hear it. So no matter where I go, I can't escape that people are like, when is your podcast coming out, or when are you gonna write a book, or stuff like that. It just keeps happening. So now that I've allowed for these other podcasts to exist for years and years, and I've seen the mistakes that they've made, and I've seen the good stuff that they've done, now I get a chance to wipe this out and have this come full circle for me. So it's made sense. And then with my brand partnerships, it makes it so much easier to promote for them, because now I don't have to just continue to keep making active videos for them. I can just wait until the podcast come and then just do my product placement, kind of like what I'm doing with the clothing and with the other products that I do. And then with the other businesses that want to reach out that don't have products, but they have services, it makes sense for me to advertise it right in front of them, killing like 20 birds with one stone just by having the show. So I'm working smarter, not harder, because I could just do everything individually by myself, or I could just put it all on one platform and then just do it there. And it just makes the most sense to do it that way.
Yeah. Damn. Man, thank you, man, for coming up here, man, spitting these gems. Man, it was a pleasure having you on this podcast, man. I created this podcast for upcoming entrepreneurs and entertainers. Because nowadays, man, people only care about you once you reach a certain status.
Yeah.
So I like to show people, man, that there's a beauty in the journey. You know what I'm saying? People's journey to the top is just a beautiful thing to see. You know, like you just said, like you just talked about, stuff being exclusive. Everybody can't go to these platforms.
Yeah.
Vlad, Breakfast Club, and man, I work the Game of Drink Champs, all these other mainstream platforms. Everybody can't go there. So it's like, I'm like, damn, you know, but there's still some real gems. There's still some, you know what I'm saying, some diamonds in the rough out here.
Yeah.
People out here making noise,
Yeah.
but just like no recognition yet.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So I'm like, shit, why not me create that lane? Why not me start that lane? You know what I'm saying? Instead of trying to get other people to start the lane, why not me?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, shit, you know, I create this thing, man, and get y'all up here. And it's been a pleasure, man. I just really appreciate you coming on here, man. You came on time, not black people time. I gotta say that. I always give credit to every motherfucker who come on time, because it's important to me, man, and to you, I'm gonna tell you this too, because it's important, because certain cliches, man, are not really good cliches, like being very late, black people being very late. Now, if it's a party and some shit like that, okay, cool. Everybody want to go to a party when they jump, so everybody know that. You know what I'm saying? You don't be the first one in no damn party. That's just what it is. But, and like other type of shit, people don't respect other people's shit until it's theirs. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the thing I prefer. Like, anybody that asks in any interview I've done, anything I've done, everybody, even my barber would tell you, I'm always on time. Simple fact, because I try to treat people how I want to be treated. So how I move, I want to be moved with the same thing. So, because you never know what somebody else got going on, what somebody else doing.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So by you coming 30, 40 minutes late, you just might have fucked up everything that he could try to do after that.
Yeah, facts. Yeah, yeah.
So that's the thing that I just really be trying to get on y'all people. Like, I don't be the people that I did turn away or cancel sessions. I'm sorry, man. Business is business, but at the end of the day, y'all gotta respect me. You know what I'm saying? If I don't respect me, how the fuck I expect you respecting me if I don't respect my damn self?
Right. Yeah, that's a fact. You ain't lying.
Yeah, so that's what it come down to, man. So I just appreciate you coming on time, man.
Yeah.
And how can we find you on social media?
So everything is going to be at Vigilante LOM, and you can just, from now it's probably monetized, so you can probably just type the high value Sigma male, and that's the phone case right there. That's the brand new one. Yeah, so y'all can just type that in right there, and then that should pop up. King Hypergamy, that'll probably pop up right there. So I go by many titles right now, but Vigilante LOM, that's where all the social medias is at.
Okay, that's what's up, man. And you seem very confident, man. You come in here with confidence, you praise, do all this, man. Low moment, man. Has there ever been a low moment for you?
Who, man, it's been so many. It's been so many.
What's the lowest of lows?
Oh, God. You know, I'm gonna go back to the story when I did For My Man. When I did For My Man, that was the first year that me and my girl was together. Her living situation wasn't really all that good, so she actually had got kicked out by her aunt and uncle at the time, and I found out that she got kicked out because when I made it to Tennessee, we were FaceTiming each other, and a painting that used to be on her wall was actually in the back of her car, and I'm like, why do you have that painting in the back of your car? And she was just like, and I was like, no, and she was like, yeah, that's what happened, and she told me the story, and right before that, I had just bought a Prius, and at that time people didn't know how to fix Prius cars because it was electric, and so the brakes went out, the whole ABS system was just gone, so I had to go to Hertz, get a rental for like $400 because I did 5 days in Tennessee. So all of the money that I made off of that, I had to put right back into that when I got back, plus help my girl find a place for her to stay because I was still staying with my parents at the time while still navigating all of my bills and all of my money and doing all of that stuff at the same time. So this is just like, you know, I credit people because nobody lives a perfect life, and it's not about the opportunity in what you get. It's about what you push into the back of your mind for you to be able to give the best that you can give to every opportunity that you're doing. That's what I credit.
Damn. Hey. Perfect way to end the show. You want to get a shot for we gotta get a shot.
Oh yeah, man, we got to, man. Hey, remember I won.
Shot, man. He won the game, man.
You gotta keep a scoreboard on here.
Keep a shot, man. Beat me 3-2, man. That's what I'm talking about. We gotta toast to that, man. Real nigga shit, man.
100%.
Okay, y'all put y'all on game, man. Y'all know what's going on.
My shot a little smaller than his.
It don't matter.
Yes, sir.
And that wraps it up, man, for another episode of Put You On Game.